just start us off with a little opening statement, how you felt today went, and then we'll open up for questions. Take it away, Larry.
I felt good today. Coming in there, I was knowing it was going to question my hands and stuff like that. So that's one thing I wanted to showcase out there, my hands. I could catch and stuff like that. So.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we'll do questions. First up is Dave Matter, St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Larry, part of this process is always about sort of proving perceptions wrong. You mentioned your hands. Are there things out there that you feel like you need to prove that you're better at, or parts of your game that are strengths that maybe people don't know about?
I think today I proved that, one, I'm in great conditioning. I was the best guy in condition out there. I not only I did running back drills, but I went right in the receiver drills and did all those. So hopefully it shows that, when as the game gets tougher, I get stronger and I don't get tired. I didn't look tired at all. Honestly, wasn't really tired at all. But hopefully that shows that I'm in great conditioning and stuff like that.
Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou.
Larry, I know you've kind of built your college career the last 4 years on proving people wrong and coming a little bit from off the radar. So if somebody had told you coming out of high school 4 years ago you'd find yourself in this position, what would you have thought then?
Oh, man. This process is really humbling because, I never saw myself, I've never had a complacency mindset of like thinking, oh, I'm going to the NFL, or I'm going to get a chance to showcase, my talent on why I should play in the NFL. But it's just, if somebody would have told me this, I never would have thought, because my situation on, getting eligible and fighting my way into college I think it was meant for me to go through that because of the mindset I had after that. Coming to college was to get better and work harder and not think that, I was better than anybody on just because of how many stars I had or how good my grade was or how my recruiting was coming out of high school. My process was, I would say no other kid would have been able to, prosper through that. It was just, a little mess, I would say. But I think that was, the outcome of how my college career went, obviously. I just think, if I wouldn't have went through what I went through in high school, I wouldn't have done what I did in college. So I would say if somebody would have told me this would happen, I would have looked at them and been like, you're a joke. So, it's just a humbling experience that I get to go through this process. And, I just thank God, because, without him, none of this is possible.
Next up, Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest. Go ahead.
Hey, Larry, you mentioned about the fact that you didn't always get a chance to showcase your receiving skills during your college career. I'm just curious, what have you been doing in the last few months to really build that part of your game? And how would you grade your hands and going through the receiver drills today at the Pro Day?
The last 2 months, I was catching balls, but I've always had hands. I just never got a chance to showcase them, but I've always worked on my hands and getting them better, catching certain balls from different angles, working on certain things like that. So I've always considered myself being, having hands. It's just I never got to showcase it. It's just different roles. Me being in college, certain things, it was just that wasn't my time. We had a certain personnel, so my job was to protect and run. I catch a certain checkdowns and stuff like that. But for the last couple months, I've just been catching balls, man. But I've always wanted to get better on my routes and running receiver routes also. Running back routes, you got little flat routes, shoot route, flare route, and a check down in the option. But on those other routes, I wanted to work on too. So I worked on that at Exos with the running backs coach, and he helped me. Also, I would chime in with the receivers and work with them also. So I think it's how I worked, how my routes look so crisp today. I worked hard, like this whole process at Exos, every day running routes and working on my craft and, wanting to show, because that's one thing I wanted to show today was that I could run routes and catch and be in good conditioning, because I went in to receiver routes right after I did my running back work. So it was no break. I went right in and made every route look the same. That's one thing that coaches say, you want to make sure your routes look the same. So even when you like this game, you're going to get tired, but it's how you look. Like, do you look tired? Or because, people can run routes, you get 2-minute break. No, this was all right, route after route after route. So just like simulating the game, play after play, getting fatigued and tired. So I think just it's been my preparation of working on my hands on running routes with coaches at Exos.
Next up, Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. Go ahead.
How you doing? Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. Playing in the SEC, you got a lot of competition at both of your positions of running back and wide receiver. A, how has playing in the SEC upped your game? And B, do you feel that you could carve yourself a niche being both versatile at the running back and wide receiver position?
Playing in the SEC, I'm not gonna playing in the SEC. I would probably say the SEC is the most physical conference and biggest and fastest. If you look at guys that were in the draft last year and years before, SEC guys are the ones that are literally top drafted and biggest, strongest, fastest. I would say that me coming in as a freshman and having my first real game against Georgia in 2017, that was real. Okay, I'm in the SEC. You can tell the different speed between Sunbelt and the ACC and the Pac-12, and the speed difference is way different, and and how big people are is different. It's just a difference, and I think it really did help me because at first I was like, oh my gosh, the SEC, you don't know, I think last year of us having 10 conference games, well, 9 due to COVID, but the whole season you had to bring everything every game. You're not just having, okay, we're playing we're playing Missouri State, and then we're playing Mississippi State. No, this is a whole conference year. We're playing all conference games. So I think that this year, I would say it kind of helped me a lot, because going into the NFL, you're not playing, out of conference. You're playing a top-notch team every single game. So it basically makes you either brings the A game out of you, if you don't have it, if you do, you don't. But I would say playing in the SEC has helped me a lot. And being versatile at the receiver and running back position, I think I can. I know I can if I get the opportunity to. So I just hopeful that what I did today shows that, okay, Larry can also run routes and he can play running back. I think that's big because, we talk about guys like Le'Veon Bell and that can run and be useful in the pass game. So I'm trying to be like that. I'm trying to be able to actually be in the slot, put Larry in the slot. Larry can run routes. Larry can do this. So he's versatile. And that's very big in the NFL way because they obviously want to talk to you about, they want to see if you can do both things, run and catch the ball, not just be an every down back.
Jacob Infante, go ahead.
Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. You had the opportunity to go down to Mobile, Alabama and take part in the Senior Bowl, and you had a very good performance there. Can you speak a bit to how that week went for you and what you got out of that experience?
Going down to Mobile, it was for me it was business. I wanted to go down there and make sure that I was very sound on, knowing the playbook, catching the ball, protection, and basically being coachable, and being tough. You're down there. It's a lot going on. Senior Bowl, you could make as many excuses as possible, but you got to find solutions. You're tired and all that. But I think me going down there, one, I wanted to prove that I was sound on being coachable, being able to take accountability to little things that they're teaching me, and also being first, being early, being on time. They look at those little things. Obviously they look at the football player, but they want to know the person. They want to know who you are as a person off the field. So I think that was big with me, and I think I did pretty well. I think I could have played better in the game. I think I could have played better in the game, but that's one thing I could say that I wish I could go back and play better in the game. You want to, that was my last college game officially, so I just think I could have did better. But I think going down to Mobile, my three things were catching the ball, running, and showing that I'm coachable and now I'm sound on little things that they want me to get better on.
Thank you.
John Shearer, go ahead.
Hey, Larry, how you doing today?
I'm good.
All right. So I'm curious how you're taking not being talked about quite as much as Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, and guys like that. Is that motivating you to work harder, to be more well-known when it comes to the draft process? And also my second question, have you set any personal goals for yourself going into the NFL yet?
To answer your first question, I would say I've always been an underdog. You know, coming out of high school, I was 2-star. So I've always had a permanent chip on my shoulder. You know, it's not more like because guys are not talking to me. Guys weren't talking about me coming out of high school. You know, nobody knew about me. That's why it was surprising that what I've done here in Mizzou. They're like, who is Morel? Like, but still, at the end of the day, all I can do, I can't control how people talk about me. The only thing I can control is how I play. You know, and at the end of the day, film don't lie. You know, the eye in the sky don't lie. So no matter what, if you're thinking another guy's better than me, you know, at the end of the day, I know what I can do. So it's more a fact of how I take it. I'm more take it, okay, today, instead of me just doing running back drills, let me separate myself. I'm going to do receiver drills too. Not only do receiver drills, but actually do them right after running back drills. No break, no nothing. So doing little things like that, you know, I hope that separates me, you know, and how I take attention to detail to things, how I am as a person. So I really don't really get into all that. The only thing is I always had a permanent chip on my shoulder because of coming out. I've always, you know, heard, you know, critics and saying he can't do this, he can't do that. Well, when I get on the field, you know, the film speaks for itself. So it's more of just I've always had a permanent chip on my shoulder, and then, you know, little things like that, you know, it's just that add fuel to the fire. So it's just me trying to get better, man. It's, you know, permanent chip. You know, nobody pushes me more than I push myself. So it's more of you know, self-motivated and trying to get better at those things.
All right, that's it for questions for Larry. Thank you very much for joining us, Larry.
All right, man. Y'all be smooth.
Bye, Larry.